Hey look, it's my profile picture. But what is it that I'm sitting in? Let's see if I can scrounge up any other pictures I have. Maybe it'll be a bit more clear. Whoa, it's a boat. And a tiny one at that. Looks pretty nice to me. Wonder whatever could have happened to it. Honestly, I'm not certain why I'm making this video. It doesn't make me feel good or anything. Mostly I'm putting my short-sightedness and corner cutting on display. I made the boat in 2019 at the beginning of summer for obvious reasons, and it's sat in my backyard for a few years now. A lot of the issues that have cropped up have made it no longer quote unquote seaworthy, so I'm going to get rid of it. And even if it were in a state that I could sell it, I am legally barred from doing so. I wouldn't say that I fully regret this project. It was, in fact, a lot of fun to make, and I had a great time puttering around in the local lake. But there are plenty of aspects of this that I do indeed regret. So let's do a super well thought out breakdown of the pros and cons. I'll start with the pros. I learned a whole lot while building this. It utilized a whole mess of different materials, and I got a good introductory experience with each of them. I also learned a lot about integrating components and working around limited spaces. It was a great confidence builder. I learned a lot about covering up mistakes, and the finished product in its prime looked pretty dang cool. The cons? Well, just watch the rest of the video. Ahoy hoy, captains, and welcome aboard the SS I never named it. Normally I script these videos out a little bit and do a voiceover, but I thought it'd be a little bit more fun to get kind of a live reaction, rediscovering all of the dumb things I did building this and the effects thereof. So we're going to go through kind of all of the problems that have arisen and see what I think went wrong and make a video out of it. So what I'd like to do is go through everything that works and then start going to all of the different issues that have arisen over the last 4 years sitting in my backyard. So let's see what remains of the Arduino system and the operating system that I made for this boat. Okay. So I think I'm in quote unquote neutral right now. The speed mode is selected, so that reads what potentiometer is set to. And I don't think I ever got the RPM code working. It was using a magnet and a Hall effect sensor, but I don't think I ever got to the point of having that actually function. Runtime measures how long the boat's been on. Detemp is the temperature in the dry box, which it's reading kind of low right now, but might be true because it is in a sealed container. Then we got power, which I don't think I ever got to work. It should be reading off of what's going into the motor controller. I don't remember how it was supposed to work, and it seems to be reporting multiple different values. I see the word time. Don't know what that means. We got M temp, which would be a temperature sensor on the motor, which is reading 62-ish, which is correct at the moment. And then we have ambient temperature reading. It is fluctuating as well pretty bad, but low 50s. So also probably a bad sensor. This button switches from neutral to forward, and then neutral to reverse, so it switches between the three states, never going from one straight to the other as to not hurt the motor. And I guess we'll just try and see if it still turns. I hear it going. What a great noise. rear light, front light, front light, up, up. Yeah! And it looks like all of the batteries are still reading pretty nominally. The top right one has about half as much charge as the rest, and it was also the most corroded. The bottom two had almost no corrosion. And let's watch the propeller just for fun. Let's just crank it up to see how fast it goes. Lovely. I put on a couple coats of finish, obviously not enough. The steering wheel in particular did not get enough finish. It just fell apart, and not just on the decking, including the failure of the pattern decking that I made. There are several spots on the hull that have broken down as well.
In several places, mainly the sharper corners of the hull, both the fiberglass and epoxy exterior have begun to separate, which would let plenty of water into the exposed wooden hull. Not only that, but some boards have also pulled apart enough to allow water directly into the interior. Here is a failure of engineering that I didn't know to watch out for. There's a hard coupling between the electric motor and the propeller shaft. Check out how much it vibrates.
Mine! I took out the slew bearing just because I thought it was kind of neat. It looks like it's lost a few of the, I guess they're called slews, over the years, as well as a few screws. Several machine shops in town refused to make my design, I think primarily due to these splines. I got a local gunsmith to make the rest of the shaft, but I ended up 3D printing the end form, made a silicone mold of it, and then used some kind of hardening plastic with a threaded rod for the final piece. In essence, this is the result of a lot of novice mistakes, and I don't blame myself for not knowing better, but I do regret it. A combination of shoddy craftsmanship, poor adhesion, and subpar materials have caused the craft to fall apart in a very short amount of time. Unknown to me at the time, I didn't build this to last, but I did build it when I needed something big to make, and it helped me get through that time in my life. And that at least is worth remembering. So maybe that's why I made this video. Bon voyage and happy trails to the SS I never named it. It'll live here better as a memory.